Get ready for Tuesdays with Tiffany Lewis. Tune in at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to be the change. Only on Clear Source Radio, where we inspire people soul to soul. Only on Clear Source Radio.
Hey guys, how are you? I hope you are doing well. Welcome to Be the Change. This is Tiffany H. Lewis. You can hear me now probably live on Clear Source Radio. This episode will be available tomorrow on iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud. Yeah, that sounds good to me. All right, so last week we were discussing a topic that I am pretty sure I remember saying was going to be a 3-part version of this topic, because version wasn't the right word, but anyway, a 3-part show. And last week we did discuss ascension, and I knew that I was going to be throwing a lot of information at you at one time. And I knew that it would take you a while to process it, because when people dump a whole bunch of info about anything on you at one time, you get a little overwhelmed maybe. But I also did use, as usual, binaural beats. Today we're using theta beats to improve memory and concentration, for the record on that one. And a lot of the times I use what I call trigger words, which may be a planet or just any random word that might then trigger you, such as the word Orion or the word awaken. Why? Why do I do that? Well, because by using trigger words, I've got your interest on something if, and only if, you are one of the people on this earth. And for the record, there are currently 8 billion people on this earth. And I have no idea why that's such an even number, but alrighty. Moving along, 8 billion people on this earth. Way back in the 1940s, a bomb happened. I believe it was an atomic bomb. Okay, don't quote me on this one. I never said I was good at history. It was either a nuclear bomb or an atomic bomb. I'm probably guessing atomic bomb. But anyway, so this bomb did happen. And when something that catastrophic happens, it creates a humongous wave, not just on this planet, but one that actually shook up a bunch of other planets. And right now, full disclosure on this one too, this show doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter if you think I'm telling you the truth or not. It doesn't matter. I know that my job on this earth is to awaken you that understand me. That's it for now. Okay, back to the bomb. That bomb set off such a catastrophic amount of pain, hurt, death, disaster, chaos, anxiety, fear, depression, death, etc. So what happened was, at that point in life, a lot of people who I'm going to now introduce to you as starseeds, right? A lot of people in the whole world back then at that exact time were calling out to, some call it God, others use many different other words, but it doesn't matter. An energy happened. A whole bunch of people praying, contemplating, thinking about, and feeling all these different things, yet for the same reason at the exact same time. Well, that sent a message to people who had ascended beyond Earth and into the stars and into other planets. And now this is going to get a little bit controversial, so just take it for just hear me out, please, without judging as I bounce around in circles a little bit, because there's a lot to be said in a, as usual, very, very, very short amount of time. So I'm going to bombard you a little bit again. Sorry. All right. But the beauty is you can just like check it out on iTunes or iHeart tomorrow, and you can listen again and again and again until you understand. And this is just my perspective, because personally I am an indigo, but then I later found out that I was a starseed. I am a starseed. And a starseed includes indigos. So there's this label and that label and labels like psychics and empaths and all that cool stuff. But as much as you learn about each one, it brings you up a level. It brings you up a notch. And you realize, well, hey, if I'm a psychic, then I'm probably an empath. Let me research that topic. Okay. So my advice to you, if anything at this point that I just used to trigger word you caught your interest, please explore that. Go ahead and go onto YouTube. Even if some of the videos are extremely ridiculously laughable, it's still educational. So, and those of you that don't believe or this doesn't apply to, the other half of all the people in the 8 billion people in this world here in Earth with us right now in 2019. So research it, learn more, and let it show you the path. I'm going to be helping you every week to awaken more. But in your other times, it would be good for you to be researching every little, especially words that just stuck out to you for any unknown reason. All right. So the bomb went off. And like I said, a mass amount of people sent what is known as a vibration, which ironically, and I'm not laughing at it, I just put two pieces together in my head. I'm a blonde, and I just now found it funny that ironically, this wavelength happened, this vibration happened because of the bomb. And all the people's reactions to that sent off this entire opposite, or what's the word I use all the time? It doesn't matter, but like a parallel, but the opposite of it, like an upside down version of how the bomb had one effect, and then everybody who was so against whatever it was, they sent all their energy out into the world and out into the air. They prayed to God, they prayed to whoever, and they begged us to come down to Earth. Why? Well, because when 8 billion people live on this Earth right now, and I told you that literally at least half of them are actually star seeds, we were called upon, first of all. You guys called us here. And I'm going to just state this one last time, and I'm going to drop it. Please do not let your religious beliefs, any other beliefs, get involved in anything that I'm going to say, have said, and will say. This is my perspective, and just take it for nothing more than face value. You can even turn it off. I don't care, because the right ones that need to hear this message will. And I didn't mean that in a demeaning way. When I said I don't care, I just mean, I'm not going to take it personally if you never listen to my show again, because your religious views or political views or whatever are quite the opposite of what I'm sitting here telling you. Also, scientific views, you're probably going to contemplate sort of an argument in your head between what I'm saying and what you know as reality. And that's okay. I'm used to that. We live in a world where it's a literal matrix, first of all. And just for one more minute, because I said I was going to be bouncing around a bit, I'm going to go back to that bomb just for 1 minute. When the bomb went off, you can imagine like the whole floor, the whole house, the whole world felt it at the same place at the same time in the whole planet Earth. Now what that did was create a wave of people who put all of their energy begging whomever you'd like to call that to come here and make it better, make it change, make it stop hurting. All right, back to starseeds. And I'm going to use that word a few times tonight because during your awakening journey, like I've said already in this show, you're going to start off as a psychic or an empath. And I'm pretty sure you probably have an indigo child. And we'll get into those 3 sections here in just a moment. But I need you to understand that every one of those things, the more you learn about them and the more you research each topic, you will see how it literally leads you to knowing that if you're an empath, then you're psychic. And if you're psychic, then you have ability to be, clairvoyant, for instance. And everybody on the entire planet has the ability to do this. Now, if we were in a solar system and something happened on another planet outside of Earth, and a bomb went off like that, and Earth shook, would that not create a reaction from a whole bunch of people? Like, what just happened? Of course. Because we have things like, Orion and the belt and Jupiter and all kinds of other things that link us together no matter how you look at it. Even your religious beliefs say that way above space there is a heaven. So look at it how you want, but it's just in any situation, as you can imagine, just like the power of prayer works. And I'm just gently touching on that because I don't want to offend anybody right now, but I'm ready to get back on topic. So it's just like you believing in Jesus, God, the Lord, your Savior, performing miracles. Well, I've seen miracles too, a lot of them, hands-on even, and yeah, that's cool. But if you ever became interested in checking out some of these words I'm saying right now, you might learn that maybe it's not everything you think it is. Maybe it's bigger than that. Now, what could be bigger than what you already know? How on earth could that help you? Well, I can expand your consciousness by telling you about it. And if you research it, you can expand your own consciousness. And I'll just come back here every Tuesday and do this again and help you awaken. So, all right, let's go back to those 3 things I just said I was going to discuss. There were 3 waves in time, very important times and dates, where star seeds were brought here. And I'm gonna skip around for a minute. I'm gonna come right back to that in just a second. First off, that bomb that went off, that's where all the people again prayed about it. Just all of their energy put together, positive, negative frequencies, sounds, vibrations, everything went up into the sky. To put it as simply as I can. And in the sky, we realize there's a solar system. And in the solar system, we realize that there's stars and planets. That's just to our knowledge, right? Based on what we were taught educationally. So, put all that energy and send it out there to the literal universe and say, please come help us. We are human beings and we cannot sit here and live like this anymore. So a whole bunch of people literally gave all of their energy out and pushed it into the universe. And they pushed it so hard while they were just desperately begging for this kind of crap to stop, that it actually went outside of Earth and universally up in space. Other planets, other stars, planets, all of that solar system. No matter how I word this, it doesn't matter. It affected all of those systems, which most of our planets operate independently. And Earth is the only planet in which we have A, free will, and B, where we can live a temporary human experience and allow ourselves to awaken while still at some point in our life awaken. And I'll come back to that in a minute. But we're here because we chose to come here. Now, I'm not going to throw a bunch of stats or numbers at you. I don't know how long we've been around. I don't know how you feel about reincarnation, and that's not even really on the table. So let's just stick to what we know. A whole bunch of people pushed all of their energy, used everything they had, pushed it out there and said, please, please, please help us. Make this stop. We are so sick and tired of watching human beings, even though we're literally inside of a human being body too, feeling the same five senses and having the same free will. We're like, enough, oh my gosh, this is not happening. Why is this happening? And it's so cruel. And the only thing that I have ever been able to explain this as is like the literal movie, like an Avatar. And if I start crying in a second, it's because it hurts my heart so much to even talk about this. You know, I have no fear of being judged. I get bullied every day, and I'm not going to stop. So good luck with that. But honestly, it hurts my soul. It hurts in a very specific part of my soul that I only wish some of you could ever even experience, let alone feel. Because if you felt the pain that I feel for the world, for humanity, for planet Earth, and then some, and you just sit here and you just watch the news, and you just get up and you go to work and you come home and you look at your phone and you go to sleep and get up and do it again every day. You guys, don't get offended or do if you want. I called them asleep, or I also called those people sheep. But after I realized not all of them were sheep, that they were just asleep, it sort of became my mission to help awaken. And I know personally, my personal awakening process, I realized what it took, when it happened, why it happened, and here we are right now having this conversation. It is my obligation, job, and privilege to even have an opportunity to talk to you about this, because I want to help you. But back to living in a world full of pain, death, hurt, war, society, politics, and other things such as greed, money, fame. I mean, that list goes on. Y'all know, well, you know what happens in the world here on Earth. You know what we deal with every day, at the very least. And as we were called upon back then, we sent 3 separate phases of, I'm going to use the word starseed here. I'm going to have a hard time explaining that word to you. So let me try again. A starseed, like I said, the only thing I've ever even become remotely close to explaining it to people that don't understand and or believe what I'm saying is true, is it's like the literal movie Avatar. I mean, you don't really think they just invented that out of nowhere? No, Starseeds are like Avatar. Like, we are love. We feel everything so deeply. We're like the most depressed people on the planet, but we rise above our own depression to fix y'all, to help you. Because we care so much about every single one of you on this entire earth and beyond, for the record. And it kills us to sit here and watch you guys hurt each other and fight and kill each other. And oh my gosh, it kills us. And it takes basically an entire lifetime for us to endure enough pain before we awaken. And by awakening, that is the moment in which we go through phases of a process that ultimately led basically to this conversation right now. I'm not here in any way, shape, or form in an uninformed environment. I continue to do my research. I love learning. I do. But you have to understand that we ascended here to Earth to help stop all the bad stuff from happening. So it happened in 3 waves, like I've said a couple of times. The first wave was around 1950s, or I don't know. But people around age, I would say 50 to, I don't know, maybe even 58, 59, 60 years old right now, today, right now. If you're in that range, you're probably a starseed. And even if you only think you're an indigo or a psychic or empath or whatever, you're going to learn really quickly just by researching videos on YouTube that you are all of that. That's why this feels right. You relate to that, and that looks familiar, and maybe even have memories of something you have no idea where you got the knowledge from. All right, well, those are real memories. But wave number 2. And this one's kind of funny. So right now, again, 2019, we are in the age of the Aquarius. We are just about 2 years into it. We are also just about 2 years after that, the solar eclipse that happened, that only happens once every whatever number of 100 of years. And I clearly remember that day my sister and I decided we were going to, and this is just like 2 years ago, literally find a cereal. We Googled it. We just kept Googling how on earth can we make like what is now known as a VR, like head, for your face and your eyes to look at something, but without the harmful rays that stem from this. Because if you look at it, it basically blinds you, and it's not helpful either. So we cut up cereal boxes. We did. We cut off the bottom of cereal boxes, and we literally got the recipe. So the recipe: cut off the bottom of the cereal box, but not completely. Leave 75% of it as a whole cereal box. So basically, cut off the top 25%. Now, it's a whole box with nothing in it. Take all the cereal out and all that stuff. And then after that, you're going to take foil. And I can't recall specifically how this went down, but I know it involved foil. And I also remember it involving taking a pen or a knife and basically cutting out these little tiny holes. And maybe I'm getting this all wrong. It doesn't even matter. I mean, just Google how to make a thing out of a box of cereal to watch a solar eclipse. But you're never going to see that one again, because that is one that even starseeds have only seen once. So, okay. box of cereal. We looked at it. We sat here for 4 hours, maybe 5, and watched it happen. I'm children at school. I live across the street from school. Children at school, they were outside. All of us were looking at it through our viewers in our little cereal box, literally. And the foil came into play as a reflection. And it was odd because I thought, one would think you would be holding the box up looking at the sun to see the eclipse, but it was exactly the opposite. The box was sitting on the ground, and I'm looking down into a box sitting on concrete, literally covering the 2 holes I just said I poked in it. And I don't know how that worked out, but it did, and we watched it. And I've always said, ever since that day, nothing has ever been the same. I didn't know what was going on. I know now, and it's heavy, yeah, but I know now that was the beginning of my awakening, kind of a wake-up call. I just didn't know it. I wasn't even researching it at that point. I just knew it was major, and it was a big deal. All right, so there's your first wave. You've got people who are somewhere between 50 and 60 right now. And then this second wave, and why I kind of went into that story for a second, is because this is the age of the Aquarius as of 2 years ago, as of that exact solar eclipse that I am talking about, that we watched through our little cardboard viewers. And I am an Aquarius. So it being the age of Aquarius in line with that specific event that happened on that one day, what happens is you get round 2 of people that are Aquarius, or maybe Aquarius is their rising whatever, or maybe their birthday is close to that, and it's not necessarily a zodiac thing. I think the age of Aquarius is more about bringing here to this planet a level of feminism and beauty, water, light, earth, air, understanding, because Aquarius has to understand everything. I'll tell you that. We will fight you till we are blue in the face until we understand. Well, before we awaken. After you awaken, you'll stop doing that. But it all leads up. So the second wave would be people my age. I just turned 40, and I am an Aquarius, and I did awaken recently. And I know it was related to that solar eclipse. So in the age of Aquarius, naturally, I'm going to find that funny too. All right, round 3. And this one's going to blow your mind. Hold on, let me check the music for a second, because I really want you guys to hear this. Hang on. Just make sure the music is just loud enough. Hang on. Where is it? Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm going to just bump it up a notch. Volume. There you go. That's beautiful. Yeah, I can definitely, that makes me happy that music is playing. It's a good frequency, vibration, or binaural beat. All right, so wave number 3, children born on the year of 2000. And when people say the word millennial, by the way, if you actually did your homework on that, you would realize that maybe had I been born a month earlier, I would literally be considered a millennial. So it's not a millennial in that sense. It's literally children all born in the year 2000. So all of them are starseeds too. And now they're about 19, 20 years old now. 19 going on 20. All right, and actually there's one more wave that I didn't think I would go into, but I will. The fourth and final wave right now all stemming from all of these people pushing all of their energy into the universe, begging it to step in and help. Kind of like, if there is a God, would you please come help? These people are crazy. Please come help. So that's what led to this. All right, so here we are. The last and final number of us in the literal 8 billion people right now, the final wave of us are being born like right this second, right now, 2019, right now. I don't know how long of a span they have, but I guarantee you every child born in 2019 will become what you will first consider. You're going to think that they're different. They're strange. They're different. But somehow they're wise. And I realize that's going to take you a good 5 years from now if I just said they were just born. But that brings me to another piece. If you have a child right now, let's say the child is anywhere from 3 to 7 years old. Have you ever noticed that your child felt out of place, or have you ever felt out of place? Have you ever just felt that you don't belong, that you're different, but you know in your heart of hearts and in the pits of your soul that you are here on purpose for a very specific reason? Well, you're probably a starseed. So, anyone between age 50 and 60, anyone around 40 years old, anyone being born right now, and back to the children that are right now 3, 4, 5 years old, whatever age they may be, that age range, I don't really have any way to mathematically narrow it down to this age to this age. So I'm just going to say like a toddler to obviously no more than 7 years old. Now, if you suspect, hey, you can even just do this for fun. Even if you don't believe me, just do it for fun. Do you have a child under the age of 7, whether it's your child or someone else's child? Walk up to that child and say to the child, and parents, I'm not going where you might think I'm going with this. And for the record right now, because I have to be clear because of this crazy world that we live in, I am not suggesting that you walk up to a random child. Please do not misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm talking about your niece, your nephew, your daughter, your son. That's it. Nothing else. You don't walk up on a child without parents' full permission, period. Leaving that alone. That's it. I think I said everything I did. Hopefully I covered every base there. So let's go back to mom. You've got a child. Child's around 4 years old. And you realize that this child is somehow wise. Wise. Like, how is this 3-year-old so in tune? I mean, I don't let her watch violent cartoons, and I don't give her soda. I don't let her have sugar. She's on a specifically vegan diet. Like, where is this coming from? She's not even old enough to be in elementary school yet. So where in the world is she getting this vast knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and even furthermore, explaining to me how life works? So if you want to test that theory, walk up to your child and say to your child, and please stoop. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to use stoop. I meant it in a way of like, please be on your knees, be at eye level with the child. That's all I meant. Sorry. So if you were at eye level, and so that would assume that you're sitting on your knees or on your bottom, and maybe you're just playing. Why don't you just randomly ask that child, honey, do you know where you came from? See what that child says. It just might blow your mind. Then, because that's going to blow your mind, And that's a pretty good chance that your child is a starseed, because it's basically 1 out of 2. If I said there's 8 billion people and 4 billion of us are literal starseeds, and they begin as indigos, or whichever one they begin as, you just know that they're different. They know that they're different. They accept it. They're smarter than everyone. They're wiser than everyone. And they are way more intelligent than they should be for their age. And anyway, so follow that if you want, without being intrusive or making the child feel uncomfortable that you're asking all these questions. But this child has been waiting for you their whole life to ask these questions. They are not allowed to just come out and tell you that. It took me a long time to comprehend why, and now I know why, and that's okay. I want you to understand why now. Because like I said multiple times, I have to understand everything about everything. So I've done a lot of research, and I research, it didn't even impact, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that if you ask a child, your child, or a child that you have custody of, specifically if you are the mother of the child, if you ask your child, where did your child come from, and your child gives you literally any answer that would indicate they came from somewhere else, followed by, and this is going to trip you out, whatever the response is. If the response is, I don't know, leave it alone. If the response is, it's going to come with a sentence. This child is going to know where he or she came from. And now I want you to ask them, seriously ask them, why me? And they're going to understand that question as in, why did you choose me to be your mommy? And we can get into that just a little bit, and there are more questions, but let's start with those two and drop that for now, because there are kind of two sides of awakening. And starseeds, legitimately, we have an unwritten contract, sort of. Y'all asked for our help. We have ascended to Earth. We're here. Literally, 1 out of 2 people is a starseed right now. Look to your left, look to your right. One of y'all is a starseed. One of you, well, you and someone sitting next to you is a starseed, actually. And if you don't know it yet, it's okay. I've said enough trigger words to at least pique your interest at this point, to where you might actually begin to research things. You've just never felt like you belonged here. You've always had some kind of knowledge, like you stand out, like maybe you get labeled the black sheep. I promise you, you've been bullied. I promise you, you've been abused. And unfortunately, I promise you, the only way to awaken is to finally endure enough abuse that you contractually agreed to do. And this is not everybody. This is I'd like to say this is, I think, my generation, or my wave of us starseeds. I think we specifically chose to come here, and even chose our own abusers from above, in some sort of like a contractual environment where there's a contract that I will come here and do this and endure this, and this is what would hurt me the most, and this is what would hurt me the most, and allow like basically every single thing to happen to you, not once but repeatedly, until one day you break. And you have to break to remember, because after you break, you go through a period of depression, anxiety, medications, doctor's visits. You're just trying to figure out what's wrong. You don't know what's wrong. You just don't feel right. Something is wrong, but you don't know what's wrong. Hey, I even had it called fibromyalgia, lupus, everything. I mean, I've literally even died twice in the last few months. So, but I do understand now that it's all part of the awakening process. And I can't force you to awaken. But if you ever felt like you didn't belong here, like kind of everyone else was asleep and you probably even dream about this. You're like kind of scratching your head going, what is going on? Why are these people like walking around literally doing Pokemon Go and not even looking and crossing streets? Why are children doing school shootings? Question it for a second. Why is this happening? Well, that's important. But what's more important is that you wake up. Awaken. I'm going to say it again. Awaken. Okay. You're ready to start your journey now. I know that triggered a few of you. All right. So after you've endured enough abuse according to whatever your contract was to come down here and take on the pain, with that contract means that you agreed to take on all of this pain, suffering, misery, death, separation, literally everything that is like the literal worst thing you could ever think of in your whole entire life. My wave of us, we've been through that 10 times. And in fact, it wouldn't even surprise me if I walked out front and one of those crazy things happened right now. That's my everyday. That is my normal. And it puts me in positions where I am very aware of what is going on around me at all times. And it began as protection, maybe PTSD, but no matter what, now I'm kind of a recluse for the most part, because I'm learning. Awakening means you also, as I just said a second ago, you have to go through a phase. Some of those phases include depression. Check this out. Depressed. Deep rest. I'll say it again. Depressed. Deep rest. See what I just did there? We live in an inverted reality. There is this thing happening called duality. You take the word and you break it in half, the duality. Deep rest. Or you put it together just to confuse people. Depressed. So, that means you should be getting rest. If you're feeling deep rest, get sleep, because you're going to need it. Because you are here to help others awaken. And I think you know, at least to some extent, that this conversation, if it's making you cringe, question, or feel anything at all, to include drawing you to want to know more, you are there. You are on the right path. You are, in fact, a starseed. And if you go on there and just start Googling starseed or YouTubing videos about starseed, that's like the exact opposite of what my advice would be. Let's start slower than that, because everybody has an opinion, or so it seems. And, come on, we live in a world where I get hacked all the time and I don't even get online anymore. So, fake profiles, people are fake, they're stealing other people's information. But the worst part about it, as I always say, is that we're literally donating our information and then kind of like, how did I get so exposed and or hacked? Hello, you literally donated your information on the World Wide Web. Do you think the word web was a coincidence? So there's a bunch of other layers. And back to that word matrix. I'd like you to compare what I just said to the movie The Matrix, the literal Matrix. I'm not going to have a really heavy conversation with you about that, but when you begin your research, that's going to be one of the first things you begin to understand. And then as you get further into your research, if you are a starseed, don't get caught up in labels. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, because a starseed is all of that. It is literally like encompassing all of that. And we are not this or that. We are. We are love. We are. We're not a thing, a place, a person. I mean, obviously we've chosen to come here and come down to earth to help humans create one, for the first time ever, mass awakening in the whole planet Earth while living a temporary human experience, meaning we feel the same 5 senses, we have brains, and most importantly, the best part about this planet is free will. So I'm not really going to go into the law of attraction right now, but if you know anything about that and you heard me say the word duality, think about it. If you know what parallel and the equal sign, think about it. I'm not going to give it away because I want you to question it. The way to figure things out is to question it and research it and want to know more. And that's great. I love that. You're probably drawn to books and libraries too, by the way. Certain things that I guess some of us probably all have in common is going to kind of, okay, it's not going to kind of anything. It's literally going to blow your mind. Not literally like a gunshot, but literally. It's going to expand your literal consciousness to ascend to a place that you did not even know existed. Why? Because we live in an actual world where people literally, because someone said so, said that, we're humans and we only use 10% of our brains. Would you like to know who uses 10% of their brains? People walking around, they get up, they go to work, they do their thing, they go to lunch, they come home, they eat dinner, they pick up the kids, they go to bed, they look at their phone first thing in the morning and the last thing at night, and are completely disconnected from reality. Sheep, asleep, doesn't matter which word I use. It's not an insult, it's just a fact. Okay, these are the same people that are so addicted to social media that they literally don't even look when they cross the street. I mean, come on, y'all. You think school shootings are bad? You should look up the number of people that get killed because they were looking at their phone. Or maybe cause an accident because they were texting on their phone, even though pretty much the entire nation is hands-free at this point. But whatever. All right, starseeds, indigos. I'm really excited for any one of you listening right now that has a child that you know can't tell you unless you ask the question. Ask that baby where he or she is from. Follow that with, am I your mommy? Follow that with, based on that answer that you're going to be given, follow that with, well, why did you choose me to be your mommy? And back to parallel and duality for a moment, and even the law of attraction and science in general. Like I've said multiple times, we live in an inverted reality. So duality is necessary. So basically, if I think about looking up, I'm probably going to actually create an environment where I look down. Just by thinking it. Y'all don't even realize your thoughts literally manifest what you perceive and comes across in your conscious and subconscious as your own personal version of reality. It's like two people can look at the same photo and see two separate things. You're either in tune or you're not. You're either awake, awakening, or asleep / sheep, which it doesn't matter because I was a sheep for 40 years. Okay, I woke up too. And that's cool. Some wave of us right now, varying ages, are all literally waking up at the same time. And I didn't know that until I legitimately saw some bullying going on, which y'all already know how I feel about that. And out of pure pettiness, maybe, or even immaturity, it doesn't really matter. I was angered at the fact that people were like literally telling their life stories and hoping for support in groups where there are hundreds of thousands of people, and these people were attacking them, myself included. I was like, what in the world? So I kind of made like a mock page in reaction to that. Like, not like I made any statement, oh, well, come on over to my page. It's the exact opposite, because what that did was it created exactly that. Exactly what I just said was created because I thought about it. So while I thought I was doing the best thing for the earth in creating this page where bullying is not tolerated, it literally led to me getting bullied in my own new group. It's crazy. And I'm not even going to go there about the new Facebook Messenger hack, but I will tell you that I figured it out. And if I were you, I'd get, oh my gosh. Yeah, I would not even conceive of being on Facebook Messenger. Take that app off your phone. I discovered in less than 4 minutes and 36 seconds how to hack your phone using Facebook Messenger alone without anything other than clicking a couple of buttons. And one of those buttons was, please prove that you're not a human by checking checkmark here. Literally. So that's off topic. And yeah, this to me, I think, has been a very, I hope at least partially cohesive situation where I've said a lot of words a few times. I've got the binaural beats playing in the background to help increase, you know, your mood and your frequency at which you vibrate. And you'll realize as you raise your frequency, which is exactly why I play binaural beats, because negativity vibrates on a very low frequency, and everything is a frequency. A frequency is everything, right back down to that bomb I was talking about in the very beginning of this show. It created a wave, a frequency, a sound, a movement, a pattern, a wave. So by using binaural beats, and I keep them positive and at a high frequency, well, it subconsciously rubs off on you, and then literally your thoughts become positive. And when you get there and you realize at that exact moment that you literally manifest your own reality based on your thoughts alone. There's a lot of other ways, but I encourage you to have some fun with that one. And please, again, I do not want to be misunderstood or called whatever. I am not saying to do a violent or bad thing or anything illegal, blah, blah, blah. I'm literally saying if you want a red balloon, think about a red balloon all day long. Think about it all day long, every day. I bet you're going to get a red balloon, like out of nowhere. I bet you start seeing them everywhere. If you want a car, a very specific car, the law of attraction says, well, hey, make a vision board about it, think about it, breathe it, sleep it, dream it, see what does it feel like. You need to appeal to all five senses for this to work. How does it feel? How does it smell? How does it work? How does it drive? Is this button there? And literally, if you're literally looking for a car and you have the money and you're in the position to buy this very specific car that you have your, heart set on, then you're going to start seeing that car literally everywhere. Third, song, music. Music is another thing that uses frequencies, wavelengths, sound, and vibrations, including, but not limited to, binaural beats. And binaural beats come in several forms, alpha, theta, delta, to name a few. And whether it be on an extremely high frequency somewhere in the middle or an extremely negative, bad frequency, you will realize if you just play around with binaural beats, listen to this, and watch how it makes you feel for a second, you'll begin to understand in order to raise your vibration, you've got to change your way of thinking. Start thinking positively. Do what I do. Stick little post-it notes around the entire house. Get a non-Sharpie, like erasable marker. I write on every mirror, you are amazing, you are beautiful, you are loved. Anything, okay? Today's a new day. Be happy. Now, when you wake up and you open your eyes and you are surrounded by that all day and every day, you don't give it a chance to escape your mind. And all of a sudden, those little things that used to irritate you can't touch you anymore. For real. Don't believe me? Okay. Become an extremely positive person. Maybe even include some high super memory, concentration, focus kind of binaural beats on a very high frequency, never a low. See what happens. See if you don't care anymore about the little stuff. You won't. Promise. It's so irrelevant because then you realize your thoughts literally just created your new reality, like I've said. When that happens, you realize you and only you have complete control over your thoughts, which in turn lead to your reality based on your perception. I know that's heavy. I do. But that's okay. I think y'all can handle it. You guys oh my gosh, I can't believe this, but I think I've been on this show, ironically, for 2 years also. This show, Be the Change, this show is everything to me. And the amount of you that listen to this show, I was not even aware of until the week before last. I don't like to do stats or numbers because I feel like I'm being like conceited or something. So I just don't want to know. I've never asked, I've never looked, and I didn't want to know because I've said in every episode what I'm going to say right now. My only hope every single time I talk to you, and what makes me do this every single week, is I hope, and I'm serious, I wish and I hope and I want to just help at least one person. I'll make you laugh. I am not afraid to do silly things to make you laugh. I want you to smile. I want you to smile because you're beautiful and your smile is beautiful, and stop worrying about what everyone else thinks. Who cares? Expand your consciousness. Rise above. Guys, that's all I've ever wanted. That's what I say in every single episode. I could not be any more real or blunt at all. I don't even think, honestly, I don't even think I could. I think I've maxed that one out. But I really, truly, from the bottom of the pit of my soul, that so much that I can even see like the literal color of the pit of my soul in a blue avatar kind of way. I want to inspire one person, help one person, give one person comfort. It's like me giving you a hug through a radio station. I'm trying to wrap my arms around you, so please stop running from me. I'm here. I understand. I listen to you. I listen to you. Knowing that, please go to my Facebook page, acknowledge that you heard the show or whatever, and tell me something if you want, or ask me a question if you want. I don't really care either way. I'll do both. But more importantly, if you want to be heard and you have a story to tell, please go to my Facebook page, bring it to my attention, and we will go from there, because I want you to be listened to the way I listen to you. All right, guys, we are out of time. This is Tiffany H. Lewis with Be the Change here on ClearSource Radio, iHeart, iTunes, Spotify. I sound like a commercial. YouTube, SoundCloud. I don't even know if I miss any, and I don't care. All I care about is, are you smiling? Did I at least make you laugh a little? How do you feel right now? Well, pretend I'm wrapping my arms around you and I'm just squeezing you with so much love. I love you. And I hear you. I don't just hear you. I am literally listening to you, which most people don't do. So, have a good night. See you guys again next Tuesday on Be the Change. Night, y'all.
Are you ready to be inspired? Are you ready to make positive changes in your life? Tune in to Be the Change, live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, featuring our heartwarming radio host, Tiffany Lewis. She's an empath, an indigo, and has a new and uplifting message for you. Every week, Tiffany can be heard only on Clear Source Radio, where people inspire people, from our soul to yours. You can get the free app today at clearsourceradio.com.